Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome to Find You Fridays. Oh dear. How are we going? It's me, Lorene, your intuitive connector for today. Looking forward to connecting with you, connecting with your teams, seeing what magical things we can come forward with this week. Hope you've all been very, very well over this last couple of weeks. Hello. Water. Must have water. Don't know about you, but I haven't drunk nearly enough water today. Let's give the old tea bag a little jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Hi, Debbie. Yay, you're awake. Hello, Melinda. Hello. We have orange and cinnamon today. So whatever that means. In fact, this will be the second lot of cinnamon I had today. So my body's obviously hankering for cinnamon and whatever cinnamon gives me. Oh, goodness gracious. Things are going bonkers. Christine is already ready. All right. Hi, Christine. All right. Well, without further ado, let us get into our weekly reading. See what wants to come forward. Cool. Hi, Tony. I missed you all last week. I really, really did. But I also really, 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 really required some downtime, some processing time. Let us have a look. So this reading will be from the 25th to the 31st of January. Well, actually, no, because I'm moving house next Friday. And I'm sorry to say, I won't have the ability to be able to do a podcast next Friday. So let me just jump over to February. So this will be going through to the 7th of February. So this is for the next 2 weeks. All right. Hi, Holly. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, Tony. You know that doesn't matter so much to me. I appreciate every dollar, penny, pound that people can spare. I really do. I appreciate it all like it's $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, but hundreds of dollars because it's $1 million is a bit like, whew, but I still appreciate that. I appreciate you guys all the same. Yes. And I love that it matters to you, darling. I really, truly do. All right. So for the next 2 weeks, from the 25th through to the 7th of February, let's see what has the world got in store for us. We always love these longer. Yes, I am moving. I am moving out of the hills. I am moving to an area of Adelaide that I've never lived in before. So more north, sort of in the around Edinburgh type area. So that's cool. I get to live and explore in a brand new section of Adelaide. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be interesting to see. Interesting to see how things pan out. And just having that extra week to figure out what I'm doing with internet and stuff will be really, really cool. So there is no way. In fact, I'll probably still be in the process of moving stuff when the podcast is supposed to be on. So there is no way. Oh dear. Here we go. Whee! Wow. Wait. The cards are getting excited too, Debbie. They just go. And I agree. Yes. Exciting new adventures do await me. There's been a lot brewing behind the scenes. So it's an exciting time and I'm looking forward to it. And there has been so many moments of synchronicities, of unexpected assistance, of kindness, of generosity, of just absolute gorgeousness. And over the last couple of weeks, it's been so full on. And I thank you guys for your patience. I thank you for your kindness and for your love. While I've been moving through all the different energies and the interesting processes that I've been going through since Christmas, even before Christmas, to be honest. There's been a lot going on, and safe to say that this move is the ending of one chapter and very much the beginning of another. And hi, Edwina, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how everything pans out over this next few months, few years. It's going to be a very interesting time indeed. So, and interesting good. You know, I've been doing so much work on myself and my points of views and my belief systems. And hi, Rachel. It's a very, very fascinating thing for me to review the last year and a half and to see how I have functioned in that time with everything that was going on. And now let's see what else can happen. Let's see how much bigger and better and brighter my and your guys' life with me can be. So yeah, Rachel, I'm just about to do the collective reading for the next 2 weeks. So feel free to tune in to this reading. This may or may not be relevant to you. If it is, awesome. If it's not, that's okay too. It's interesting how often these readings are actually fairly accurate for most people. And you just wait and see. Okay. So the next 2 weeks for the collective. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. I'm moving. I'm moving to the Edinburgh area. So much closer to you, my dear. And I'm really excited because my camping friend is like going to be living less than 5 minutes away. So we're going to be able to catch up way more often now. I'm so excited about that. Being up in the hills has been beautiful in so many ways. However, it has meant that I've been very separated from my friend groups, and it's been full on. Oh, the numbers, Tony. My Lord, the numbers. So I have been swamped lately by fives, multiple fives. My electricity number, I think it was, or it was, no, not my electricity, my bond, my reference number for my rent. That's got like No, it was the electricity meter. Has 3 5s in it. There was something else that had multiple numbers. When I was in my car just before to go and grab something from the shops, I got 2. Hang on, I took a photo of it because I'll share it a bit later. I had to laugh because I was just like, oh my goodness. It was 217717. I was like, that's awesome. I had a whole bunch of 5s. I've been getting 4s and 7s, 4s and 7s, 4s and 7s, 4s and 7s all month. Like for the last 3 weeks has been 4s and 7s. It's been an incredible set of numbers coming through. There was stuff going on for me financially during the week. And it's so funny because my granddad, he's passed on. He's part of my spirit team now. He pops in every now and then. And when he knows I'm having financial stuff where I'm feeling really stressed or stuff, he leaves me things. And sometimes he'll just leave me a sign, and, you know, it might be feathers, that sort of thing, which he has been doing that too. There was this beautiful rainbowy black feather just out on the front porch a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, hi, hi, Granddad. But the other day, so his last name was Savage, and yes, so I come from a family of savages. And I saw this car. I was traveling along in the traffic, and I saw this car, and it was Savage Money, or Money Savage one. I think it might have been Money Savage, and they were like a finance broker or something like that. And their number plate said Savage on it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like, my granddad, he's looking out for me. He's saying it's okay, everything is going to work out just fine. Don't worry about the money, it'll all work out okay. So yeah, so super funny. Savage. There we go. So this next 2 weeks, from the 25th of January through to the 7th of February, which, funnily enough, I'm pretty sure includes my granddad's birthday. First of all, we have relationship harmony. So we angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Hi, Hawkeye, Rick, and Fiona Ellis. Hi, hello. Welcome, welcome. So relationship harmony, if you've been finding that the energies of the last few weeks have sort of brought up a lot of like energies, you might be finding that things will just start to settle down a little bit. Okay, things will start to be a bit more calm over the next couple of weeks while these energies, whatever's going on with the planets and all of that, I haven't even looked. So you guys are probably more smart than I am about the astrology at the moment. But you might find that things are just starting to settle down, starting to cool off a little bit, and just chill out a little. So relationship harmony over this next 2 weeks. So things will be coming along just nicely. You'll find you'll have more space to breathe. I get this next couple of weeks. I know I've got a very like full on couple of weeks coming up, but I know you guys are just going to be able to just cruise through this stuff. We have brilliant idea. Now, we've been getting these sorts of cards quite a lot lately. And I get the sense that is because, hi, Tamara. And Tony, good to hear that yours is settling down. I get the sense that with this brilliant idea card coming up so often for you all, that forward movement that so many of us have been feeling for 2025 is still saying, yes, go for it. Do that idea, do that thing that's in your heart that you've been holding back on doing. Now is the time. It's no time for hibernating anymore. It's no time for a hermit card. It is time to shine bright and shine loud and just be the most incredible person that you are. Brilliant ideas. It means putting yourself out there and having the courage to put yourself up there. So now is the time. Get out there over this next couple of weeks. do that, whatever it is that is speaking to your heart, go and do it. If you are sick and tired of your job and you are like waking up every single day going, oh my God, I have to go to work today. I hate my job. I hate my workmates, or my co-workers, because they're not your mates if you hate them. Everything like that. Please go and apply for a new job this next 2 weeks. Don't just leave your job. Make sure you've got somewhere to go to before you resign. But please, whatever is holding you back from, as Tony said, shining bright like a diamond, figure out what that is and let it go. Just let it be. Let it be. And be you. Be bold, be brave, be you. Because there's only one you in this world. And if you can't be bold, be brave, and be you, then who else is going to be? There is no one in this world like you. Absolutely no one. Not even a twin is like you. So please, whatever that bright idea is that you've had mulling away in the back of your brain or in your heart, please go do it. Victory! So we're getting some really lovely cards this week for this next fortnight. Victory. So we've got your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So this is that beautiful card that pops up when you're starting to go into those little moments of self-doubt of going, I've asked for this thing, I've been manifesting, I've been actualizing, it's why isn't it here yet? When you ask that, you're actually putting a little bit of judgment in there and you're stopping the flow of the awesomeness. So please know that all of your prayers and all of your beautifulness that is ready for you to come through, because you're ready. You've done the foundational work. Your grounding is beautiful. You're fully nourished and nurtured and ready to receive. Your victory is here. Okay, it is right there, right on the edges, waiting for you to receive it. So it could be that you just have a couple of little things to tweak and then boom, it'll be right with you. And then it may not be that you have anything to tweak. It's just timing. Sometimes the universe, depending on the ask, the universe sometimes has to really pull a whole lot of stuff into alignment to be able to bring that through to you, that energy of that. So just trust in the process, okay? Trust in the process. So the next 2 weeks, you're going to have some victories, all right? As a collective, we're going to have some victories. We're going to have some really awesome moments where everything is just going to come through. And it may not be easy at the time, but when you reflect on it, you'll go, oh, actually, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't need to stress. I didn't need to hurt my heart. That was me the other day. So just know that I'm going through it too. The next one we've got is clear sentience. So notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So our bodies, as I've mentioned many, many times, our bodies are constantly communicating with us, and it's up to us to recognize whether what that is for a start. And one thing that I realized is sometimes the things that I'm aware of, and I'm going to tell you a little story about something that happened this week, is a little bit delayed from whatever the event is. So I'm a kinesthetic healer. So I heal and I feel. I feel as I heal, right? So that's why sometimes I'll be like, oh, when I'm doing readings for you guys, because that's a part of how I function in this beautiful world. Reoccurring physical and emotional feelings. If we look at our beautiful works of Ina Segal or Louise Hay, they'll tell you what those feelings are likely to be related to, but also be aware that sometimes those recurring feelings are actually signs from your higher self to say, hey, this is something that you either have to heal and just make peace with. I don't want to say let it go, because the reality is we never really let anything go. That when people say just let it go, it actually activates our little rebels, the little rebel inside our head that goes, no, you can't tell me what to do. So telling someone to let it go is not actually helpful. You're basically encouraging them to hang on to whatever it is. So it's about making peace with it. And as I said, closing that chapter, just cool. Let's see, what is it underneath that's still bringing up that energy for you? What is it that's holding that into your heart? So please notice those reoccurring physical and emotional feelings over this next couple of weeks, and sit down with yourself and figure out what it is. Or you can just use some handy dandy tools that you might know from different modalities, and just in that way you can release that energy. Because as we know from our lovely expanding out exercise, that emotions, thoughts and feelings are just energy. And something wonderful that I've learned this week is that when we have an emotional response to something, it's actually a little 6-second chemical burst in our brain. 6 seconds. That's it. And then we internalize that and we blow it up. And we keep that flow going probably longer than what it requires to. And the longer that we hold on to that energy, it's like, oh my God, then the brain goes, oh, we must keep sending out 6-second bursts of stress hormones. It's like, and that's the point where you go from sitting in your frontal lobe to sitting in your amygdala, which is your reptile-ish brain, your survival brain, and then suddenly, oh shit, what do you know? You can't think straight. So please notice what your body is telling you. If it is, say, if you've got a tight back, or you've got a tight hip or leg or knees or shoulders or whatever it is, if you've got funkiness happening in your heart or your guts or whatever, have a look at that. Find out what it is. If you want to, see if it's sitting on your meridian lines, if that feels of a relevance to you. And there's loads and loads of resources online to tell you how to help your meridian lines. And quite often it's just about holding the point that is sore and achy until it eases off. And you've got to hold it pretty firmly, to be fair. And that's one of the ways that you can just take yourself out of being that little pebble at the bottom of the raging river and become like the fluffy cloud. You're letting that energy release from your body. So how cool is it that we've got all these resources at our fingertips if we choose to use them? Here's the last card, or apart from our yummy cards, for this fortnight. It's compassion. At the end of the day, all of us, and I mean every single one of us, requires to show more compassion, not only to others, but to ourselves. We are beautiful beings who are on this earth to have this incredible human experience. We signed up for this. As crazy as that sounds, and whatever you've been through, we signed up for it. And we signed up for whatever this experience is giving us, whether it be the pain, whether it be health issues, whether it be joyousness, whether it be abundance or poverty, abuse or not, or maybe unconditional love. We signed up for all of it. The healing and the growth, We signed up for that too. We signed up for abusive parents, narcissistic, gaslighting parents, or wonderful parents. We signed up for that too. So throughout all of this next 2 weeks, I would like you to remember to show compassion to yourself. Everywhere that you're beating yourself up because things haven't worked out how you thought they would, because your ego got involved. Everywhere that you've been in your survival brain instead of your frontal lobe, please have compassion for you while you move through that process. This next 2 weeks is going to be a lovely 2 weeks by the looks of it. And still, when we are so used to judging ourselves, to belittling ourselves, to making ourselves seem less than, that's the greatest moments of compassion is required. Okay? Please. Please, please, please. Tomorrow, Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose is a great one too. Oh, cool. I haven't read that one. And Tamara said, my cafe job finished today. My boss decided on Tuesday that she was just going to close, and now we are done. Wow, what an interesting choice. Looking forward to the newfound time and to make my business spectacular. Yay! I'm so excited for you, Tamara. And also, perhaps you can have another job to fill in the time. Not all of it, because your business definitely requires some love and your attention. And as we know, as we've discussed. But yes, I'm so excited for you, darling. So something funny that popped up. I was watching, I'm just shuffling these yummy cards for our weekly, our fortnightly thing. Here we go. Haha, we got one. We got receptive. All right. So again, it's about receiving the messages. It's about receiving the signs, receiving the signals, receiving the symbols, receiving the unconditional love from other people. It's about receive, 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 receive. Receive the love. Receive the love from the Mother Earth and the Father Sky, and just all of that. Thank you, Fiona. You're very welcome. So yay, I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks, to be honest. And this is just the most excellent reading. It's a good start, isn't it? So funny story. I watch every now and then. I see this YouTuber called Juggernaut Lawn Care, and he does lawns for free. He's over in the States. He does quite often do like he does his lawn cutting show, like videos, but he'll often do overdubs with something profound or inspiring or something like that. His messages are more like that. That's not just, the ASMR of lawn cutting. And he's been through a bit of a tough time last year and the year before because he was doing a lawn and he actually found a dead body. And it threw him. It absolutely threw him for a long time. He's had therapy and counseling and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, so he's back now and he's feeling much, much better. And he was doing this video, and he found a coin that was from 1977, and he put along the bottom, what were you doing in 1977? And I said, I was being conceived on my auntie's lounge room floor. Yeah, if you want to know what I was doing in 1977, that was it. Mm-hmm. I agree, Tony. It would have been very difficult that would have been a really hard one, especially if you're not expecting to see a dead body. That would have been really, really tough. Really tough. So, yeah. All right, Melinda, your first cab off the rank because you're awesome. And let me just make sure everybody else is in proper order. Hawkeye Rick, are you being serious? And if you did, fucking hell, that must have been a bit horrific. Wow. Was it a random person or was it somebody that was, if you don't mind saying, was it somebody that you knew? I think it would be worse if it was someone you knew. I mean, it happens all the time. It was the neighbor in the next unit and I was okay. Well, I'm glad you were okay. Yeah. It's, I'm very fortunate I've not stumbled across a dead body. I don't think it would worry me too much if I had, although you can't know until it happens, right? But when I was in primary school, one of my schoolmates, her older sister, passed away from cystic fibrosis. And she was only 15, 16, something like that. And we were around 9 years old. And because we're Kiwi, and they were of honor, like the Māori descent. There's Māori in their family somewhere, I'm not sure where, but the body was home for a week for the family and friends and things to come by and sit with the body. Sit with Jolene and not the body, just Jolene. And so I was able to be with her, and it was interesting because as I think about that now, I had shut down my psychic abilities at that time. But the one thing that fascinated me was that the skin, like I was allowed to touch her hand and it was solid. It was solid and it was cold, but because as I know now, they actually put them on the casket's got cooling, like refrigerator type pads or thing underneath the body to keep the body cool. And obviously she would have been embalmed and all of that sort of stuff too. But I remember thinking, gosh, her hands they look kind of real, but they've got a slight tinge to them. And it was like, And it's not the first funeral open casket that I've been to, but that one from such a very young age, I actually find it really fascinating. And my job now, we do not deal with the dead bodies, but we do deal with the aftermath of bodies. The company that I work for does. And I have had the privilege of helping to clear out a deceased person's home where they actually did die in that home. So I now know what dead body smells like, as I'm sure, okay, Rick, you do too. And it's not a smell you forget in a hurry. Certainly not. So yeah, I can imagine it was freaky. And well done to you for A, finding it, and B, I hope you got some help if you required it to just process through the emotions and stuff, because it is a lot. It is a lot, because there's stuff that comes up. Yeah, I'd been in there 2 weeks. Oof, yes, that would have been a bit on the nose. Yeah, that's a full clear out when it's 2 weeks or more. There was somebody I know of, and they had a family member who lived by themselves out in a rural property, and somebody sort of thought, haven't seen whoever, like the guy, for a week or so. And turned out he had been passed out. He had passed out in his garage, in his shed, for near on a month. And the way that his rigor mortis had set in, he collapsed to the ground, but he ended up with like one arm up in the air, just there. It's like, and I think one leg was at a funny angle or something, and I was just like, because there's my brain goes, I wonder what that would have looked like, you know. I don't gross out very easily, as you probably gather. Anyways, yes, exactly. So I do hope that you received a little bit of some help if you required it, some support, counselling, etc. And I'm sure this gentleman's family would have been very relieved that you did that. So thank you. Thank you for finding him and helping to move that part of the process along. So it's a beautiful thing that you've done. All right. Well, good. I'm pleased that you didn't feel like you needed any extra assistance. That shows a very strong character there. All right, Melinda. Now, I have actually worked a fair bit with this deck since I've received it. Doesn't make it any easier to shuffle because there's a lot of cards in it. But you've got the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So let us see. Let us see. Cool. Fiona, about 7 years ago, I had to try bring someone back or help before the ambulance got there. He had passed, my neighbour. Oh, Fiona. Whoo-wee. That's a tough one too. Really super tough, but well done for knowing the skills. Yeah, well done for knowing the skills. This deck's not as hard as the big tarot deck that I have, the animal tarot deck. It's slightly easier than that one. And again, Fiona, same message for you. I hope that you received some counselling and stuff at the time, because that is a very traumatic experience, regardless. Oh, Melinda, we've got some interesting stuff coming up. I can feel it. I get really excited now when I see the first card that you've got, because I've seen it a lot So I actually got kind of excited by that one, even though other people would probably go, ooh. Okie dokie. We're up for some reading. So the first card that you've got is Perfect Storm, which is an invitation to act now and the courage to step up into life and sheltering from turbulence. So you can see why I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. So an invitation, Melinda, to act now. You are receiving the invitation to act now. So when the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting, if turbulent, time. The winds are picking up and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm or you'll be buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. The key is to remain centered, balanced, and be a witness as the forces build intensity. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around and recognize how little of it you truly require. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. I should change that. Make peace with the thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things that we are most attached to that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can also be a call for you to seize the moment, which I get is actually more so the case here. There may be a great opportunity that you require to take advantage of right now. Carpe diem. Here, time is of the essence. It may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Go ahead, bite off more than you can chew, and take the storm on in all of its terrifying greatness. Experiencing the fullness of life, you will succeed. That last piece is the piece that I get is actually really, really relevant to you. But also, there's that moment of going, there's something that's going to rock your world a little bit. And ride it. Just run with it and ride it. We've got Father Gate. Next experience, legacy, evolving, and a bold step forward. So again, rolling on from the perfect storm, we have Father Gate. When the Father Gate card shows up, it is a clear call to lift your eyes to the horizon and begin to walk toward your future. You are marching in place right now, stirring the dust and not getting anywhere. Trust that your forward movement will lead you to a new destination you have already set for yourself, but perhaps forgotten or neglected because of your everyday busyness. The Father Gate comes to tell you that an ending is at hand and that you can leave the old behind. Interesting. And let it peel away like old skin you shed. Do not hesitate. Cross the threshold boldly and you will be rewarded. If you continue marking time instead of moving, you will miss the opportunity. The gate is open. The next landscape of your life is within reach, but the window of time to pass through it grows shorter. Do not dally. A gift of the Father Gate is to bring you to the fullest expression of your gifts, perhaps for the first time. It is an invitation, again, an invitation, perhaps to a sacred passage, to a new journey, a new discovery, and both great challenges and opportunities. It is not a graduation. There are no rewards other than the exploration itself. You have been a farmer far too long, tilling the hard soil that now bears little fruit for you. Time to put on the explorer hat once again. This is interesting because as I was reading that, you would have noticed, like, oh, that's interesting. I get that this is perhaps something of a more personal, interpersonal relationship type thing. And like the sense that I was getting is it's like these old things, these old points of views that you are having popping up around males, particularly, is they're saying, let it go because it's holding you back. You're just going over that same old soil over and over again. And whether it be those old points of views and belief systems from your interactions with your dad or exes or anything like that, like those really deeply personal relationship stuff, it's time to make peace, like deep peace with those moments. So, and those points of views, those belief systems, those implants, all the things that you have popping up into your mind that's stopping you from moving forward into something fun and new, where you go into self-doubt and you feel like you have to be a hibern, like a hermit, rather than get out there and do things. This is a really fascinating reading because your third card is Moon Maiden, which is new beginnings, new ideas, beginnings, and curiosity. I love that you've been pondering on this for the last few days. I love it. The Moon Maiden arrives to offer you a new beginning, a new face and facet of yourself that is aching to be shown to the world. Those qualities that you have been quietly cultivating are ready for the limelight. The secrecy was important, for it protected your new face and kept what was precious close to your heart. But now is the time to come forward in full splendor. Announce the new you to yourself first. Reveal it slowly to the world like the waxing moon. Allow others to be surprised by how mature and grown up this side of you is. Now it's time to set yourself free. I know, it's a new moon next week. Oh dear. The Moon Maiden belongs only to herself, and she is summoning the parts of you that challenge convention, that refuse to be intimidated, and that cannot be tamed or put inside a golden cage. The Moon Maiden invites you to shine with your own light, to have radiant curiosity, and to ask anyone who offers you a mouthful of dogma, why do you believe this is so? Question everything others assume is a given, and do not conclude with the drama around you. Collude with the drama around you. Become an unpredictable being, yet an eminently reliable friend. The Moon Maiden invites you to answer only to yourself and reminds you that you are not anyone's property. Be true to your soul's calling, even as some around you in relationship or a job want to capture your light inside a bottle. You know how to rise to the occasion, just as unfailing as the moon does. When the time comes, you return to darkness and become enshrouded in mystery until you are ready to return. So there's some really interesting, fun energies popping up for you over this next little bit. And what I love about this is that it's asking you to the one part that really stuck out for me was that you are not anybody's property. And what that did when I read that was it was like, yeah, every time that you allow somebody else's belief system to hold you back, you are giving somebody else property rights to your life. And so, like, when somebody in your life has said a negative thing and you've taken it and run with it, whether it be an ex, a dad, a mother, sibling, whatever. When you buy into their comment, whether it was meant and truthful or not, you're giving away your power. So that's why this is all coming up saying it's time. You're bringing your power back. You've been doing really well. And now it's time to really reclaim the ownership of your life. And don't pass that shit on to your kids and grandkids. Like, just be beautiful and bright and shiny like the moon when you require it. Woo-wee. And then our next card. Are you ready? I am. So we're having a lot of like, it's time to step forward, Melinda. It's time. We're inviting you because we know your human design. We know that you want to be invited to things. So here we go. We're giving you these invitations. And Mom, it's up to you, but we're giving you the invitations. You've asked for the invitations. We're giving them to you. All right. The next card that you've got is the Magician's Sword, which is confidence in your magic. Nothing can stop you, the beauty you seek. When the Magician's Sword appears, you are called to cut the cords that bind you to old thought forms, beliefs, or to friends who are not true. Okay, I hope you're laughing as much as I am right now. With the power of the Magician's Sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty you seek or the goal you desire with all of your heart. The sword is a tool and not a weapon, so make sure you wield it wisely for the greater good. Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic person, a particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available to you when you believe in miracles. But don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Look within. Use the Magician's Sword to cut through limiting beliefs and remember that all beliefs are limiting. And focus your intention in order to create what you wish. You have all the tools you require for the task at hand. You require only to muster the wherewithal to deploy the resources you have. When the Magician's Sword appears, it is time to get moving. This is not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edge. It is an instrument calling for decisive action. Remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate. Act. I'm glad you find this funny too, because I couldn't have done that if I tried. Seriously. All right, let's have a look at this. Oh my God. Your last card apart from your yummy card. Are you ready? I don't need to go into any further with the Magician's Sword. It was pretty bloody clear. Get rid of those get rid of the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the shit that's holding you back, because it's time to move forward. No more excuses. I think they're fucking sick and tired of your excuses for not moving forward. And it's like they're just going, right. And you know what? I think everybody's team goes through those moments where we're just being a little bit too rebellious for our own bloody good. And I get that's where your team is at too. All right. So the next one we've got is Spirit of the River, which is more movement towards adventure, addiction to problems, and allowing and trusting the current. The Spirit of the River invites you to step into the flow, to stop swimming against or avoiding the current. Oh, Rick. Yep. Crikey. That's 100% correct. It's even funnier when I add the extra element that what if your spirit team, as many versions of it as there is actually you in your higher forms coming together to give you the support that you require so that you can get to where you require to go. And you're just getting really, really annoyed with yourself. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, allow the waters to carry you downstream, away from the eddies and whirlpools. It's time to heed the call of the new adventure awaiting you. Stop working on the problem for a while. The issue is not what it seems. It is your addiction to fixing what has gone bad that is consuming so much of your time. Work to create a greater good, and the bad will resolve itself on its own. There is nothing that you can accomplish by more efforting. As the situations in your life right now are subject to forces beyond your control, recognize this, step back, and trust the flow. There is no loss of face or lack of honor or integrity. It is simply the way things are at this moment. When this card appears, it is time to say yes to the next leg of your journey. Your life is like a river, inevitably and inexorably flowing to the sea, which is your divine destination. Be fearless and release yourself to the rushing water of the middle stream. In the middle of the stream, whatever it is that you are holding on to, the feelings, the thoughts, the beliefs about how things are or how they should be or could be can be fixed easily with the power of the Spirit of the River. Simply let go and enjoy the thrill of the ride. All will be well. So, yes, stop holding on so tight to the shit. I know I sent in our messaging this week the book called The Let Them Theory. I highly, highly, highly recommend it based on your reading this week. Please read that book. Please listen to it because there is so much goodness in that book. I got through it in 2 days, like in between work and stuff. And so good. But then let me. Let's see what we've got Grace as your yummy card, Melinda. So throughout all of it, throughout your adventures, throughout everything and letting things be, letting them be. Because the thing is, the longer we hold on to something, the only person that gets harmed, the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the only person that gets harmed is us. There's nobody else. It's just us. So I love that they've given you the Magician's Sword because like you now and anybody else out there who's also resonating with this reading can use this tool. It's about allowing those energies, as Hawkeye Rex just said, to flow through you. Don't let it stick, because it's when it sticks that's when we get cells that are deformed because the energy is squishing them in weird ways. Instead of them being beautiful and plump little round cells, they go and then we get dis-ease, right? You know stuff. So there we go, Melinda. Thank you for your very kind donation. And thank you for your team and their laughs. Oh, they just crack me up so much. So yes, your team. I love working with your team, and they really truly are just a pleasure to work with, because like we've obviously got a bit of a history now, and I love how straightforward they are, and it's such a gift, such an honor and a pleasure to be able to work with them. So thank you, Melinda, for facilitating that. Thank you for your very kind donation. You're literally helping Find You Fridays keep running right now. Saying. So I very much am so grateful. Thank you. Mwah. Oh dear. Your team's so funny. Oh, that's enough. Thank you. All right. We shall just double check where we're at. Cool bananas. Oh, Christine, you're up, my dear. Interesting. Let us have a look. Which pendulum would like to work for Christine today? Oh, where are you tuning in from? Rick, do you prefer Hawkeye or Rick? And I love a hammock. Hammocks are great. That's fantastic. And the dusk heat. So it's evening time for you. All right. Please show me your yes. Okay. Show me your yes, please. Show me your no. Oh, no way. Rick, this is so weird. I was talking with a friend this week, actually, and saying how I'd never been to Uluru. And I've always wanted to go to feel the energy. Like when I go to cities or places, I don't go for the touristy stuff. I go for the energy of the place and of the people. And I find, and I'm so curious about Uluru. I have, yeah. I'm going to leave it there for now. Wow, do you really? You live there. That is so cool. I love that you do that, mate. I really do. Who knows, one day maybe I'll get to meet you in person. That would be really, really cool. When I finally get the ability to go up to Uluru, that would be awesome. I really wish to do more travel around Australia for sure. I have travelled to Perth, but I haven't done the road trip. I just flew. I've driven across to Canberra. I've driven to Melbourne because I'm in South Australia. in Adelaide. I have been up to Noosa and then done the trip down the coast to Coffs Harbour. I only went briefly into Sydney, only for like a few hours. But I definitely, and I've driven to Cooper Pedy and back in one go. That was a bit intense, but it was well worth that trip. Sometimes I forget I've done that. And around South Australia, I've done a lot of the Yorke Peninsula, and I've been over to Port Lincoln. So I've done a wee bit and sort of done a bit out towards Renmark and stuff too. So yeah, that's so cool. Yes, Adelaide. Yep. But I definitely wish to do more travel, more fun, get out there and see more of this beautiful country that I'm able to be living on. Gift some back, because it's already gifted me so much over the last 14 and a half years. So yeah, I enjoy the forests and stuff of Queensland, but I don't like the humidity. Humidity's not my fun, not my idea of fun. Cool. I had a cousin, she had a property down in Tasmania for a bit, but I didn't get to go before they sold it and she moved back up to Coffs. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you've lived and worked all over Australia. That's awesome, mate. Isn't it fascinating how we just meet people in a platform like this? And it's like, there's no way, I don't think, maybe, that we would have connected otherwise. So this is really cool. Thank you for tuning in. I love that. Anyway, back to Christine, because I know she's in America and she's like going, well, hello. It's my turn. All right. So there's our yes. Please show me the no. Thank you. All right. So truth. Does Christine require to take her car back to get the latch replaced in her car, please? Truth, what will it create in 100 years if Christine asks for the new latch and the driver front door to be replaced? So, truth. What will it create for Christine in 1,000 years if she takes the car back to the mechanic and has them replace the latch in the front driver door? Okay. So what I'm getting there, Christine, is that the mechanic has done an all right job with the latch. However, long term, having it replaced completely is going to be better for you. So trust your intuition on that one. He's probably going to get a bit cranky with you. So be aware of that. And it's partly because sometimes when they replace a latch, it's like if you know, it might have been like a $10 part. So, for example, there's a thing called actuators, which are in the front doors, or actually in all the doors, but for automatic door locking. And the only reason why I know this is because my front actuators are actually broken. I can still mechanically use the key in my front doors. My actuators for my back doors are absolutely fine. So when I press my remote opening, my back doors unlock, but my front doors don't. And that's because the actuators are broken. Now, I could technically replace the teeny tiny little motor that is within the casing of the actuator. And that would maybe last a year. But if we replace the entire part, it will last out the rest of the years of the car. But the thing is, the whole part costs several $100s as opposed to $10. So it just depends on where you wish to put your money as to whether that's going to be a good investment for you. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right. So short term, what the mechanic's done will work just fine. That's sort of the indications I was getting from the pendulum. Long term, you may want to get it fixed properly. Okay. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for your donation. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful you give us a chance to just play with the pendulums and enjoy like seeing what comes out there and interpreting what that is. So Airlie Beach. Where's Airlie Beach? Strange. If I got the part in Volvo, it would have cost me $700. Yeah. So if it's a similar thing to what's happening in my car, they may have replaced and just fixed that little motor as opposed to doing the entire part. Because my actuators are about, I think it's about $400-500 a piece, something like that. And I've had other priorities. And I also go, I'm actually good with the front doors not opening, like as a on the remote, because it's kind of like a safety feature. You know, when you're a single lady in dark car parks, you don't necessarily want the other side of your car automatically opening for you. Thank you, Rick. Whit Sundays, North Queensland. Beautiful. I have a friend who lives here, but she hasn't. Her mum's in Cairns, and so she often travels up to see her mum because her mum's in aged care now, and she's more than once said, "You should come with me," and I'm just like, "Yeah, one day I'll get there." All right, so let me just check the PayPals, see if we've got anything new coming in. I'm not seeing anything new. Let me just double check. Cool. So, funny story. This week, I was stressing a little bit because there was some things that weren't quite panning out how I thought they were going to pan out. They were just taking a bit longer. They were, I was being asked for information that I'd already supplied several times. And there was just, it turned out the person was asking me for information that I couldn't give them anyway because it wasn't my information to give. And when we actually got to talk on the phone today, all of that got cleared up and everything was hunky-dory. But one of the things that happened in amongst all of this, which is why I'm telling you that part of the story, is that I mentioned it before. Sometimes when we're very aware, we are aware of energies, but it's a delayed response. And the thing that I was actually aware of, because as I was driving to work on Thursday morning, I got a pain in my heart, and I was just like, oh, and I just said, oh gosh, is this just me being overly stressed? Am I just, and I've never really suffered this before, except for one other time, and I'll come back to that story in a moment. But I was like, oh, and one of the tools that I have in my little toolbox is truth. Does this belong to me? Because I am aware that I am so freaking aware of not only my friends and their family members, especially if I've met them. I'm very aware of all of my workmates. I'm aware of people around me, even if I don't know them. Like every little, like the beings around me as I'm traveling along, I can be absolutely aware of them too. Within probably between half a kilometer, probably about a half a kilometer radius around me, I'm aware of that all the fucking time. And most of the time I manage to just ignore it. Like, just, that's cool. That's other people's shit. It's like me being partly a medium. I ignore all the spirits and stuff around because they're always there. We're walking through spirit soup every day. And I have a thing of just going, nope, like there's certain times that I have allocated to seeing and perceiving them, and this is one of them, being on the podcast. Anyway, so I'm driving along. I've got my hand on my heart, and I'm driving one-handed because I'm like, oh, this pain is a bit stingy. Like, oh my God, and sort of going through the logical first steps of like, oh my God, I'm stressing out all this stuff and blah, blah, and it's the move and it's the thing and it's the people and it's the thing and I don't know how I'm going to do this and this and this and this and so setting cortisol off in my brains. And then all of a sudden I went, oh, truth, is that mine? Or is it someone else's? And it was really light on the someone else's. And I said, okay, well, cool. Return it all to senders with consciousness attached then, please. Because I don't want to feel the pain. This isn't fun for me. And it actually turned out that my friend's father-in-law passed away late on Wednesday night. So I would have been picking up on the fact of his passing, but also my friend and her family, like her husband and the extended family, are in grief right now. And as we know, when we're grieving, our hearts hurt because there's a hell of a lot of emotional shit that goes along when somebody dies. So how funny, we started the evening talking about death. And as soon as she told me that that's what had happened, she actually told me today that he passed away Wednesday. And I went, Wednesday night, and I went, oh, okay. Now that reaction on Thursday morning makes a lot more sense to me. Because I was like, this doesn't track for how my body normally reacts to stress. Like, yeah, no, it was a bit out of the ordinary. So that's one of the things I was wanting to say is when you are aware of your body and how it reacts, how it responds to different things, you can identify more quickly if something isn't yours, if you're just being psychically aware of other people's energies. I'm curious, Rick. It's called Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It's in our chat, in our group chat as well. I put it up there for us. Bloody good book. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It has got me wanting to write Let Them Let Me on my arm But then I go, just going to sweat it off, and that's going to be annoying, and I'll probably end up with like black across my forehead or something. I'm not quite at the point of wanting to tattoo it on my arm. Maybe not. We shall see. Who knows? Maybe for my birthday, I might get something done on my arm with it. But it's really, really fascinating because there's a lot of elements in that book where I go, gosh, there's so much about my core modality that I have played with, that it resonates very, very, very similar. And so I know these tools already. It's just that they're put into different words. And I'm just like, wow. So Rick, I was going to ask you, how aware are you of the energies of the place that you're in? Is that something that resonates for you? Do you have that? I'm curious. And for the rest of you as well, are you aware of Mother Earth? Are you aware of the energies around you? Up here in the hills, there's a lot of crystalline energy. And so I've found it to be a very interesting place for me to live for 1.5 years. I do sometimes feel I haven't necessarily made the best use of that time, but at the same time, I know that the time I have spent here has been worthwhile. It's given me a lot of clarity, and I don't know that I could have gotten the same amount of clarity living in Port Adelaide like I was, because it's completely different energies down there. Rick is saying it's very present. Yeah, cool. Going to New York back in 2009, the energies of that place was very different to other places that I've been. The Twin Towers had already come down. They were at the stage of starting to rebuild that area, but the energies around that site were still so strong, so strong, and overwhelmingly strong for me at that stage. I wasn't as in touch with my abilities as I am now. I think I would find it different now. I'm more accustomed to that and more an allowance of it. But yeah, it's interesting. So you said even where we stay, which is 20 kilometers from the rock, you can feel it. It's safe, quiet, and healing. You just gave me goosebumps. Thank you so much. Because right this very second, I'm tapping in. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that gift to us tonight. I am so grateful for you, Rick. Thank you. Yes. God, we're lucky. And I know, like, I've been listening to so many different things lately, but the Let Them theory was wonderful. I've listened to the majority of Convoluted Universes by Dolores Cannon, the first book. I've got to listen to the majority of that. I just kind of need a little rest from that because there's a lot in there. And then it's like, I'll go back to that one. I just rocked up. You were divinely sent, my dear. You were divinely sent. Fiona, yes, I'm aware of energies, especially been so grateful to go hiking and found Mother Gaia crystals beautiful, but haven't done for over 2 years because of health issues. Yeah. And Rick says, but that's what I do. I spread light. Yes, you do. I feel that. I hope that one day I get to meet you in person. That would be really awesome. Who knows, you may have spread your light elsewhere by the time I managed to get to Uluru. but stranger things have happened. I remember when I went to Canberra, and it was like, I decided it was like a no, a no, a no, a no. And then all of a sudden overnight, the energies changed. It was like, yes, go now. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, not really that far away. I'll be even closer once I move. In my vague geography skills version. I imagine, like, do you get like a rainy season there? Or is that just more Queensland way? I've always had a bit of a hankering to, like, and maybe, so I'm a lakes and rivers girl. I grew up in the center of, this time of year is your rainy season in the summer. Wow, that's fascinating to me. So I grew up near the mountains of New Zealand, central North Island. And so I know what living at the base of a volcano feels like. I know the energies of that. And I know, like, the Mother Earth of New Zealand is a completely different kettle of fish to what the energies are here in South Australia. And I really, every time I get to connect in with different areas, different parts of this world, I'm humbled every single time. And just knowing the beauty and the strength of Mother Earth, and as you say, the healing of that. There was a documentary I watched, probably 5 years ago now. Fiona, you're a country girl who lived in Mount Gambier. See, I haven't traveled to Mount Gambier yet. That's another spot that I would like to get to. I have friends down there, so it would be really nice to be able to go that way at some point. And it was a documentary following the traditional Aboriginal tribes trek through, I'm pretty sure it was the Blue Mountains. And I remembered looking and watching that video going, and I actually cried, because there was something in that place that was like, hi, I recognize you and I see you. And even though it was on a video, even though it was people who are not me there, I felt really connected. And I've never even been there. How weird is that? So I am looking forward to going and seeing all these different places around Australia at some point. So yeah, I love rivers. Oh, I am such a river girl. Rivers and lakes and mountains and stuff, like being near the ocean it's not, I find oceans to be too rough, and a lot of people find them really soothing, and I'm like, I don't find this soothing at all. Like, the wind picks up and it smacks me around, and then you've got the waves, and if it's not really windy, then you've got the sun beating down, and it's freezing cold. It's really noisy. So, and for some people, that's exactly what they love about it. And I'm just like, and then you get sand in between your toes, and then that just gets everywhere, and I don't like it. I'm not on the spectrum at all. No. So, yes, I actually joke around with my workmates saying, you know, I've got just enough OCD to keep my ADHD in check. Because I think we've all got a little bit of spiky stuff in there somewhere. All right. Let us, for the last time in Mount Barker, unless I come up and do a fair, let's do the poetry book. So before we do this, we're actually going to do the expanding out tool. And so you get to have a little bit of like a breather. And you can use this tool anytime you like. If you're feeling, and I've used it a lot the last month, but you can use this before you have to, you know, make a phone call to something that is a little bit sticky or crunchy in your world. You can use this tool before you have to have a bit more of a serious conversation with someone. And what it does is it takes you out of being in your amygdala and puts you back into your frontal lobe, funnily enough. It calms your cortisol. It brings up your dopamine and all your happy hormones. And it allows you to then be more closely connected with all the energetic flows of Mother Earth and all that sort of stuff. So this tool is very simple, but it's very, very effective. And many people won't use it because they're like, no, it only works when somebody else says it. No, you can do it yourself. It's easy peasy. So let us do the expanding out tool. So take a big deep breath in. You can close your eyes or not. I like to close my eyes because I stay nice and focused. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And this time as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. As you breathe out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now you're going to expand out your awareness. The awareness of your body, the awareness of your breath, the awareness of all of your muscles and your internal organs, the blood pumping, all the parts and pieces of you. Now you're going to expand out your awareness in a big bubble up into the sky, down into the earth, greater than the building that you're in. Expanding out your awareness, greater than the country that you're on. Expanding out your awareness, greater than the planet. Greater than the solar system. Expanding out your awareness, greater than the galaxies. Now expanding out your awareness, greater than the universes. And as your awareness grows, if you find yourself yawning, that's not only you releasing energy that is no longer required for you, it's also an indication that you're aware of the other people doing this tool right now. And also sharing this space with you. How cool is that? And now as you keep your awareness nice and expanded out, you can focus on your body once more, and you're going to grab your sense of allowance. Your sense of allowance is your ability to perceive, know, be, and receive all of the energies of thoughts, feelings, and emotions and see them for exactly what they are. It takes you from being that tight, contracted little pebble surrounded in bright white light or golden light or whatever protection light that you like to use or you've been told to use. But it takes you from being that tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of the raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you're absolutely aware of. And it takes you from being that tight little pebble to becoming like a big fluffy cloud. And you're looking at that raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and you see it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. And you can choose to respond or react or not. It's your choice. You have a choice in all that you do. Beautiful. So we're going to expand out our allowance now. Expanding out your allowance beyond your body. Again in a big bubble. Up into the sky, down into the earth, and all the way around. With you in the center, expanding out your allowance greater than the building that you're in. Expanding out your allowance greater than the country that you're on. Expanding out your allowance greater than the planet. Expanding out your allowance greater than the solar system. Greater than the galaxies. Greater than the universes. And now greater than your awareness. This is a crucial part. Because if you don't have your allowance greater than your awareness, you'll feel very unbalanced. You'll feel out of whack. You might get quite cranky. Okay. And now I'm going to ask you, now that your awareness is expanded greater than your allowance is expanded greater than your awareness, I'm now going to ask you, truth. What number between and including 1 and 88 is going to create the most for you over this next fortnight? Whatever number just popped into your head just right now, please put that in the chat. And I'll read mine while you do that. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Christine, 73. Love Addict is yours. My love for you is intoxicating. It makes me feel all giddy, but I can feel it's becoming a crutch by which I'm basing my happiness. Like any addiction, I need to hold it away, to reevaluate it, to not only sample it and not devour the whole lot in one gulp, leaving nothing but an empty memory. Miss Christine, is there something or someone or a situation or a belief that you are incredibly addicted to, that you are basing your entire happiness around? That if you were to release that from your world would allow you to have all of you, would allow you to have true happiness in your world. Because the thing with addictions is that it's not a true love. It's not a true connection. Yeah, Melinda, me too. The eyes leaking. That's why I'm like, so yeah, Christine, your team is definitely asking you to have a bit of a good hard look at the things and the elements in your life that you're basing your happiness on, that are perhaps not so healthy for you. Okay. And it's time to take some action around that. Okie dokie. Thank you very much for coming to play. 44 for Rick. Reborn. With each trouble and problem, even before I knew you existed, was bringing me closer to you. My life has had much heartache, as has yours, and through our hurt, we've learned to be wary. However, when two souls connect, nothing can hold them back. The restrictions we put upon our hearts are wiped away with one single tear, to be replaced with undeniable trust, souls and bodies connecting to become a brand new life. Rick. This poem was saying to me more about trusting. There's a big element of trust that's coming up in your world, and whether that be with yourself or with a person that you have a bit of a romantic connection with, or just the people around you, there's some elements of trust there that your team's asking you to work on. And it's okay to trust. It's okay to trust to love. And even if we've been hurt before, it's okay. But it's like, it's time. It's time to stop holding yourself back so much and let your heart be seen and loved. Okay? That's what was sitting through that one for me. So 7 for Fiona. Thank you for coming to play, by the way, Rick. So cool. Stick around because there's going to be another meditation after all of this. Loneliness is something I can't quite explain. It can hurt, make me feel out of it. It's a heavy feeling which is inside my body. It's a part of my mind, but it's released through my heart. I go all silent. I can't explain why. I don't want to be alone again. Fiona, your team is asking you to reach out. Your team is asking you to not isolate yourself when things are feeling crunchy and hard. Be selective with who you speak with, because sometimes the people who we're speaking with is they accentuate the loneliness because they don't listen. They don't want to listen. They don't care. So be discerning is the best way. Be discerning with who you speak your heart with, but please reach out to, who to reach out to that will actually be non-judgmental. Okay. You're not meant to be alone in this world. Not at all. And you might find that someone who is near and dear to you requires to hear from you just as much as you require to hear from them. Okay. Big loves to you, my dear, and thank you for coming to play. Rick, I was telling myself to this today, don't be scared of love. Yes. I love that. You know, there's that lovely little saying of it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Mother Nature shows us, oh my God, I just got goosebumps. Mother Nature shows us all the time about love and loss. And it is a beautiful thing to watch, the coming and the goings of the seasons. And it's like, it's not really that Mother Nature's unconditional love stops, because otherwise it would be conditional, right? She's always there. She's always unconditionally loving all the seasons, the hot, the cold, the freezing, the dry, the wet, the blowy, all of it. We can do the same. And yeah, I know. I do too. I'm a boots and all kind of girl. And when it doesn't work out, it's fucking hard. It's hard to unravel that. It's hard to it's not a bad thing to love big. It really isn't. This world needs way more of that. Imagine if everybody loved big. They just, yes! How exciting would that be? So many people are holding back though, because they're scared. They're afraid to love big, because they'll get hurt. But I'd much rather give it a go than not. Now, life is so freaking short. Even if we manage to live to 100, it's still nothing compared to Uluru, for example. It's been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. But we're only here for such a blink. Why wouldn't you share your big, beautiful heart with someone? And I get that I'm not only talking to Rick, there's other people out there that I'm talking to too. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that forward. And for Fiona too. I'm glad that you understand that message. Please reach out to your sisters. Your sisters. If you're a witchy lady, your coven, your very dear friends, those people who are like your cheer team. Somebody asked me the other day, oh, you must have so many friends because you've just got such a bright, bubbly personality. And I'm like, I don't actually have that many core friends. I have a very fine core friend group, and they get the majority of my attention and my love. I like connecting with people. Quite clearly, I do a podcast, and I love connecting with all you too. But there is only a very core small group, maybe 5 people that I do connect with in a very deep, deep way. And we don't judge each other. We have great allowance for each other. We can talk about anything. And those are the people that when I've got something exciting to tell, or my heart is hurting, or anything, they're the people I'll reach out to. Rick says, yes, I do. That's how it started. Same. I think it's more important to have a very tight core group than to spread yourself way heaps thin. That doesn't work for me. Yes, Melinda. All right. Next is Melinda. Yay. 22. I'm curious to know how this is going to rock out considering your reading tonight. Oh. Yep. It tracks. All right. You ready? Together in harmony. As you leave me tonight, I feel this strange feeling, one that I haven't felt in a long time. It's a feeling of peace, but also one of loss. Peace to know that you'll return, but loss to know that you aren't with me now. I want you to know that even if I can't say it at the moment, that I care for you, and that when we are apart, I'll be thinking of you. So, this is a poem that's not all as it seems. Because, of course, this is about letting go. And in the letting go, or making peace with, or however we want to phrase it these days, this is about you learning and remembering, not learning, but remembering that it's okay to love, that it's okay to love you, and that you are incredibly lovable, and that all of those points of views and the belief systems and the shit that has been holding you back, and you've been feeding and fertilizing the self-doubt and everything that has helped to create that in the first place. As you're letting all of that go, what's going to be left is the love. And that's your together in harmony. You're going to be together in harmony with your love. And that's so beautiful and so exciting. And I'm going to read you the little blurb that's underneath that one, and you'll not understand now why I smiled. A summer love that is remembered fondly, written for the guy who gently and kindly showed me it was okay to smile again. So this particular time in my life, I had, prior to this, been very suicidal. And I had done a lot of work around healing that before he came along. But he was that last little bit that really helped to give me the confidence to go, I can do this life again. And even though he was only around for the summer and it was all very, beautiful sort of puppy love kind of stuff, it was, I say puppy love, but it was probably actually my first-ish love. Yeah. So this is about coming back to that beautiful place that's you. Okay. And the more you let go of all that shit, the excuses, the reasonings, the justifications, the stuff that you've been using to water the toxicness in your life, the easier it's going to be to love you, to really appreciate you, to be able to look in the mirror and go, fuck, I look good today. Yeah. All of that. It's just going to be so, so good for you. So thank you. Thank you for continuing to come and play with us. I love this show. I really do. I love you guys. Fiona says, thank you. Lorene girl is so gross to have someone so earthy, grouse. I haven't heard that word for a long time. Somebody so earthy like yourself. Enjoy my first time, and I appreciate with you, and I appreciate. Oh, I appreciate you too, Fiona. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, Melinda. Love you. So, for those of you who are new that don't know about my book, so this is actually my my poetry book. It's all my poetry. Every single word in here was written by me. And there's like little blurbs underneath the main core of the poem, which is a bit of a hack because I'm a Generation Xer. And in our day, we used to get our tapes and then we'd get our CDs and they would have the lyrics in them and their little sleeve that have their little lyrics. And whenever I looked at the lyrics of the songs, I would go, I wonder what the songwriter was thinking or going through when they wrote they wrote those lyrics. It may have been nothing at all. It may have been something. I honestly think that most songwriters have something that they're processing through, much like my poetry was. So when it got to the point of me creating this poetry book, which took a lot of nudging from my spirit team to be able to do that, by the way. I'm not going to go into that story today, but those have been around for a while know the story. And it took a lot of nudging for them to convince me to do it. But when I did, I decided to put those little blurbs at the bottom, because rewriting these poems from my handwritten poetry book up into digital form was an incredibly cathartic experience, very healing for me. And I'd thought that, I'd processed all that shit. Like, this is going back to when I was in my teens, early teens. So it's like 25 years worth of poems. It wasn't everything from those 25 years. There's some that I didn't put in here, but it's a good selection of them. And that's why those little blurbs are there, because sometimes your team will pick up on the blurb and not so much of the poem. And that's where my intuition comes in, of going, okay, what is it about this particular poem that is resonating the greatest for you right now? So you can get it off of Amazon if you wish to. You've seen how to use it. There's the creation key, which is sitting at the back of the book. And it has the number of the poem and then the page that corresponds with. So that's how you work with it. So yes, happy gratitude book. So it's called Gratitude, the Space Between Seconds. Okay. In case you would like to go and purchase that. All right. A little bit more tea. I'm not going to spill the tea. Sorry. The tea's already been spilt. And for those of you who didn't click, so Alex and I are no longer together. We haven't been since the end of last year. So, yeah. Tea. Neva, I think there's a book that you require to read or listen to. I'm not going to answer your question. And it's because it's coming from a place of how do I say this? Darling, you have a couple of choices here. You can text that person, and if they text you back, cool. Or you can text the person, and if they don't text you back, cool. It's information. You can not text the person and just let it go. Like, it's cool. And at the end of the day, you have to be honoring of what's true for you. If you are really following your heart and your highest good, and you use some of your intuition, then you might find that that person is not the right one for you, which is why you're questioning it so much. Or maybe they are the right person for you, but you have some healing to do so that you can move forward with confidence. Okay? At the end of the day, if I'm assuming you're female, but forgive me if you're not, and that this person is male. Yes, if I text him, yeah. So if this guy is interested in you, then he will message you. Okay? But what I'm picking up with just this little bit of interaction is that you've got some healing to do. You've got some emotional intelligence growth to do. And while you're still in this place of not doing that, you're going to find yourself attracting people into your world that are not honoring of you, that are not going to be loving you in the way that you really require, in the way that you desire, okay? It's not about me being right. It's about experience. It's what I'm picking up, okay? So there's a couple of resources. There is the Let Them theory with Mel Robbins, okay? It has, at the end of December, was released on Audible. So, and that's how I've grabbed that one. Coming back to gratitude is really good. So that is, so that would be the Magic by Wondershare. And yes, attached. Ooh, Melinda. Hang on, I will just Google that one because there's a few a couple of different authors that contributed to that. Okay, and this is where you learn about attachment theory. Okay, attachment theory is really, really, really useful to learn about, especially when you're someone like me and Rick who loves big. Okay, so start devouring some books, do the work, do the tools, do the project, do the activities, learn about yourself. And if you want to go really super simple, let's go. Okay. There's this one. It's an oldie, but a goodie. It is, here we go, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Okay, so Amanda really likes super simple. Yeah, so the 5 love languages, like I can tell you every single one of those books I have read over the last few years, and some of them multiple times over the last few years. And thank you, Melinda. I'm so super grateful for these incredible people who have been brave enough to get to and put these resources out there for us, because they haven't done it lightly. They have researched, they have done case studies, they have put it into every word. Like, they really come from the heart. Even Attached, which is comes from more of a scientific point of view, like a psychologist, point of view, it's still done and presented in a way that is easy enough for people to comprehend, with loads of really great really great case studies and examples within the book. Okay, so get busy. Forget about the dude for now. Get busy in working on yourself. And when the right person comes along, you'll know. And I know that it's one of those crazy things, but you will. And sometimes we just have to get tilling our own soil and fertilizing and getting rid of the weeds of our own personal point of views and belief systems and thoughts and feelings about different things, including men. And for women, we actually have to mostly get rid of our anger. We're very angry around men and to do with men. And we have to learn how to become peaceful women, to be able to welcome in the right kind of guy. Blessings to you. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you. Yeah, but that's so annoying. That's because they are children in men's bodies sometimes. But if we didn't have that, then we'd be way too serious all the time. The cool thing about like an emotionally intelligent gentleman, and I'm going to say gentleman, is that they know how to have fun. They know what we need to hear as women to help lighten us, because we have so much responsibility in the world. So they are literally there as our court jesters. That's part of their job. And that's why they're annoying. And we just have to let them be that for us. And if we're lucky, we get to do that for them too. And it comes from that place of love. And it comes from that place of just knowing that the world doesn't have to be so bloody serious all the time. So yeah. Yes, I agree. They can be annoying. And I'm sure we can be equally as annoying to them, where we're like, come on, man. All right. Lots of resources, because that's what we do here. Catherine, sending love for Bali, or for Bali. Are you meaning from Bali? Because I think there was a moment there where you were going to go to Bali, wasn't it? I hope that you are in Bali. That would be really cool. I love a good goofball. My goofball is dad jokes. I love dad jokes. I love hearing them. I love giving them. They're the best. And then there's those around me that are like, oh God. Males and females, by the way. And then there's others that are just like, I fucking love your humor. It's so good. It's so good. Life is, once again, life is too bloody short to be serious all the time. And I spent way too much in my 20s being incredibly serious. I was a control freak. I was just so in survival mode in my 20s that when I decided that I was going to be happy, I didn't know what the hell that looked like, because at that moment I was in situational depression and I was sitting in my car crying. Crying my eyes out because I had no job, no husband, no life, no cat, no house, a shitload of debt, and I had no way of paying it back. It was a horrific time, and I decided I was not going to be a bitter, spiteful old woman, and I was going to be happy, and I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that's what I wanted. So I knew that's what I desired to have in my world moving forward. And so I continue to create that. And I do my best to do it most every day. From, yes, here, now. Yay! Catherine's in Bali. I'm so excited for you, Catherine. Oh, wow. That is excellent. Excellent. I am so thrilled for you, Catherine. Enjoy, please enjoy the land for us all. And yeah, enjoy the lushness. Enjoy the trees, enjoy the sands and the wildlife. Oh my God. Fiona is asking Rick for a dad joke. See, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but you know, Rick might be able to. I love it. Goofball is the new sexy. But it's equally balanced out by, you know, if they're a mature man who can actually step up and be that space for the woman to allow her to relax and to soften, to be vulnerable. That's fucking sexy too. It's a man who will go, yes, I've got this for you. That's sexy. It's a guy who allows it, and just, you just feel safe. You feel safe with them, you know, because you know that you don't have to be the strong one. So many of us we've grown up and had to be the strong ones. And because maybe we've come from single parent families, or maybe we're the eldest, or maybe we're an only child, or whatever the situation is, maybe we've had a lot of loss in our lives. And so you end up in survival mode. And so many women are in this, so many. And I'm sure, Rick, I'm not sure how old you are, but I get a sense that you're probably up around in my age-ish, and like you will have seen the different generations coming through, and as they're coming through, you see the changes in the men. So there's definitely guys who are around now, 40 30, sort of probably 38 to 48, that 40, maybe 50 age group, maybe even slightly bigger, who so many of them are boy men. They're not mature. They're not emotionally mature. They are literally 8-year-olds in an adult's body, crying out for their mummies, and they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And then they hook up with women who end up turning into their mothers, because that's kind of what's been expected, and that's what they attract each other, right? Occasionally you'll find the odd one who is not like that, but they're so fucking rare because they're the ones that have actually got the secure relationship. So this is the difference. This is why I suggested to Neva to learn about the attachment theory. Okay. So many blokes are not secure. They are immature in their own spaces. I have seen men in their 50s incredibly immature. And you just say, would you just fucking grow up? Like, why do I have to carry this load? So Rick says, yep, he agrees, and that he did that years ago, and now I'm divine masculine and bloody proud. Good. I'm pleased. Yes. Goosies. When you strike somebody who is, and what you learn through that book Attached is that there's the 3 styles that they talk about. There is the secure, there's the anxious, and there's the avoidant. And quite often, the men who are sitting in the avoidant or the anxious are incredibly emotionally immature. And unfortunately, the avoidants tend to hook up with the anxious women or the anxious people, if we're going whatever gender. And the avoidant person activates the anxious person, which then creates a really super, super toxic cycle. The secure people, however, are very rare because they tend to be in relationships already, and they are in long-term relationships. And obviously a secure relationship is a really good combination. And a secure and somebody who might be slightly anxious is actually still a good combination, because the secure person knows how to make the anxious person calm. And that's the cool thing, is like, if you've got a secure male and you're a female, maybe a bit like me, like I'm in the grand scale of things, I'm not one or the other. I'm mostly secure, but I've got a teeny tiny little bit of anxiousness that sits in there. And if I'm with somebody who's avoidant, that anxiousness activates and it makes me fucking loopy. And I find myself doing stuff that I wouldn't normally do. Being really paranoid about where they are, who they're seeing, what are they doing, that sort of stuff, because I don't trust where they are. So Rick says it's still a learning curve, many levels to the divine masculinity. Yes, there is. And there's also, we have to be very mindful that divine masculinity, divine femininity, that we don't get egocentric with it either. But no matter what, I always respect all women. Lovely. Melinda says, my ex was the avoidant and I was the anxious. Yeah. And Rick says, I'm loving the feminine rising. Men have to step up a lot. Yeah. Amanda says, my partner is 42. I'll be 50 in a couple of weeks. He is very switched on, and I feel totally safe being in all aspects of myself with him. That's so cool. What I'm seeing now coming through, which is really fascinating, is, so there's that age bracket that I was saying before of like the 38-year-olds to around about 40, 50, early 50s that are just, right? With the very rare one in there, it's not a blanket statement. There are the ones in there that have done the work like Rick, who have really stepped into themselves and realized that these toxic behaviors, there's the stuff like either addictions or just the way that they treat people or the friends, the people they've got around them, like they're just not good. And they sort of dive in, they come into their hearts and they go, wow, what the fuck am I choosing? Yeah, no, that's not cool. And you go through your process, right? What I'm seeing at the moment is there's a really weird group between that are sort of sitting in their early, like in their 30s-ish now, that are starting to do that sort of stuff, which is cool. But what I'm loving is seeing these very, very attuned, aware men who are being the inspiration for other men that are sitting in around about that 27 to 32 age bracket. And they're having their kids and they're being so intuitively aware, but also still creating boundaries. There's that group that are in their 30s to 40s that haven't had the boundaries and their kids are fucking running wild. But this other group that are having the toddlers now, and they're just so beautifully aware. And I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. And I'm loving seeing it coming through on like the social media stuff, and these men who have maybe had a bit of a rough start to their life, and then they've done whatever's come into their world to make them go, hey, we need to teach things like, I saw this one and I shared it on my page because I was just like, oh my God. And it was his dad teaching his son how to do bubble breathing, which is where the son was all full of like big energies, big anger. And he was teaching him to do bubble breathing, which is where they put their arms down by their side. So I move the stuff out of the way. And it was, they go, and then, and they just do that until everything calms. And the dad was teaching his toddler. I'm just like, yes, 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 yes. Love that. You know, just love it. And I'm really loving seeing this change with the men, because I know that the ones that have done it in each of those age groups that I've talked about are inspiring the rest. So thank you, Rick. Thank you for doing the work that has brought you to where you are now, because you are being the inspiration for other men to do the same. So thank you, because we absolutely required it. Us women have to have a soft place to land. We have to. We have to have strong arms to wrap us up, to know that it's okay if we crumble a little. It's been way too long since we've been able to do that. We, as you know, are the gatekeepers of life and death. Women are. And we've been made wrong for that forever. Well, not forever, for only a couple of thousand years. But it's like we now are getting the men coming through that are comprehending that and being grateful for it and encouraging us to step into our magnificence. But it reminds me a little bit, I'm seeing right now is like when my little niece was born, and she was maybe, I don't know, maybe 18 months old or so, and her mum, rightly or wrongly, she's my soul sister, so I don't judge her for it, but there was a period of time there where she was very paranoid about her daughter getting dirty. And so she wasn't allowed to go outside without shoes on. She wasn't allowed to play in the dirt. She wasn't allowed to get dirty at all. It was a very controlled environment. Safe to say that's completely changed now. But at the time, she was young. She was in a very different space. She was, it was just a time. And my mum went to go and put my niece on the grass. And in New Zealand, we have lovely grass. We don't tend to have ants that bite us or spiders that kill us. And my little niece, so imagine her body's like that, right? And her legs are hanging down. And she went closer to the ground, and the closer she went to the ground, her legs come up like this. It's like, oh, don't do that. And that space of uncomfortable is what many women are going through right now. And it's that trust. It's the trust that the men who we bring into our world are going to love us in all of our moon cycles. It's hard. We're having to remember that it's okay to get dirty sometimes. That we don't have to have everything under control. And we don't have to organize everything. We don't have to, that's the one big ask I have in my world at the moment, is to have somebody in my world who says, yeah, babe, I've got this. I've got you, and I've got this. I require you to relax. I require you don't have to do anything today. I've got you. Fucking hell. That's sexy. Because the payoff is for the guys, of course. More chicka chicka boom boom. Oh dear. Yeah, have fun with guys until they're over 35. Before that, she's a minefield. I would absolutely agree. Because here's the thing. If your woman is relaxed, if your woman feels loved, if your woman feels respected and honored, and that she trusts you and all of that, and then there's that allowance for her, she's going to have more of all that and so much more for you. So much. Which means then you're connecting on so many levels, and then it's like, hello. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling for everyone. So yes, it does require people to step up, both men and women. And I know from me, being somebody who's used to be very hyper independent, fuck, it's hard work trying to soften enough to let someone else in. It really was. I've had be very, very conscious about that over the years with my different partners that have come and gone. And every time it sort of comes up, I'm like, okay, here we go again. You know, the number of times that previously where I've been told I don't know how to contribute to you or to help you because you do everything yourself. And in my mind, I go, well, I don't want to have to ask you to do everything. You've got a brain, you've got eyes, you can see. You're an adult. I shouldn't have to ask you to put out the fucking bins or to change the bag or to scrub the toilet after you've left a shit stain in there. I shouldn't have to ask you to do any of that. You're an adult. You can see. And that's where the resentment comes in, right? Take responsibility for your environment. Rick says, if a man is wanting and capable and providing, then surrender. Mm-hmm. We can. And there's a little bit of like there's work, like I said, on both sides that has to happen for that to be able to occur. Especially if she's been in many, many toxic type relationships before. You know, where she has had to be the strong one. She's had to be the one to pay all the bills or organize everything. She's had to be the one that picks up after him all the time. Or, yeah. You know, how many women have you heard, oh, you know, I've got 2 kids and, oh, actually, no, I've got 3. And you're like, 3? I thought you only had 2. Oh, yeah, no, my partner's the 3rd one. I look at that and I go, because that tells me that that woman is not in her divine feminine. She's in mother mode. She's in control mode. She's in survival mode. And that guy's not stepping up. Which makes her angry, which makes her resentful. And then she gets passive aggressive, and then she gets narky, and then she gets bitchy. And then he goes, she's just such a bitch. I got to go down to the pub and have a beer just to escape her. Meanwhile, she's going, what about me? You know, it's just toxic. It's toxic. It's not good. So I really, truly hope that more people be like Rick, do the work. More men do the fucking work. Amanda, my God, I told my son when he was about 8 he needed to scrub the toilet after he'd done a poo. I'd already spent years cleaning shit off his butt. Hopefully his missus will never have to ask him. So true. Yeah. It's a very complicated area, but I'm really, really glad that we've got enough men out there now being the divine masculine that is the inspiration for them to choose something better, to choose greater for themselves. Yes. Yay. All right. Let us do our meditation so we can run away for the evening. The next time you see me will be in 2 weeks' time, when I will be not in Mount Barker. I will be down the hill and a little bit up north in the drier sections of the town, which is going to be fun because I won't need a dryer again. I didn't need a dryer for the first 14 years, so I'll be back to that. That'll be fun. And then all will be interesting once more. So let's meditate. Just taking a lovely big deep breath in and recentering ourselves. Let's see where we go. Just checking on our awareness, make sure it's nice and expanded out beyond the universes. And for those of you who have done private sessions with me, if you wish to go and to go further than that, you're more than welcome. Making sure your allowance is beyond that. Beautiful. Just tuning in right now to see where the collective requires us to be, what is going to be creating the most for us all. Okay. I'd like you to imagine that your feet are bare. And they're standing on the bare earth, wherever you are or wherever you desire to be. And as your feet touches the soil, the grass, the sandy soil, or the rich brown soils, you feel the energy of Mother Earth underneath your feet. And as you glance down in your mind's eye at your left palm, you'll see the Reiki symbol on your palm, the Reiki symbol of Shokugure. That Shokugure is now moving between your palms and creating the energy of unconditional love and of gratitude. And as that unconditional love and gratitude flows over your fingers and over your hands and moves up your arms, you can perceive the healing that is happening across your arms and through your bloodstream, where if you've had any stress, any tension, it's now melting out of your body. The stress and the tension is leaving you now. You're rebalancing your hormones, and your neurons in your brain are settling into your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. That beautiful Reiki is moving along your chest and your shoulders. All the hard work that you've been doing over the last couple of weeks or months or years is now unwinding from your shoulders, your back, down through to your hips, across your chest. Beautiful Reiki, the unconditional love. Moving through your heart, through all of your internal organs, your belly, all the way down to your pelvis, releasing any energies, any thoughts, feelings, belief systems that are no longer desired or required in your system from past relationships, whether that be with romantic partners or family. It's releasing from your body, from your legs, from your knees, your shins and your calves, through your ankles, all the way down to your feet and your toes. And as the Reiki energy touches Mother Earth, it sends out ripples of unconditional love throughout Mother Earth, to which she responds like sonar, saying, I hear you, I feel you, I love you. And that goes right back up through your body, all the way back up through your heart. And as the Reiki energy moves through your throat and your neck, through your jaw, your gums, your teeth, your lips, your tongue, your nose, your eyes, your ears, your forehead, your brain, your subconscious and conscious mind, all the way up through your scalp to the very tips of your hair. And Mother Earth energy saying, I see you, I love you, I'm here for you. Moving through your body, all the way up through your throat and your neck to your very crown of your head. You feel the pulse of Mother Earth. And as you gift the Reiki to her, she also gifts you unconditional love back through your body. And as the gratitude flows from your heart for the gift that Mother Earth be with you now and till the day you die and beyond, your body relaxes. Your cells that have been in dis-ease are now returning to their spherical shape. You feel the clarity coming back to your mind. You feel your confidence growing greater and greater. You feel the softness and the vulnerability coming through. And that's for the men and the women. For all of you divine beings listening to this right now, I thank you. We thank you. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your kindness. We thank you for your generosity of spirit. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your community. We thank you for your support. And if you are requiring any of those elements in your life right now, please know that we're all sending them to each other through our connection through Mother Earth. That is why we expand out, and we do that together. Even if you're listening to this in the future, the energy is still there. Taking a lovely big deep breath in now. And just feel how different your body feels. And as you breathe out, see the magic that is exuding from every cell and molecule of your body. Your light, your brilliance, your radiance. Now imagine that you're standing underneath a nice big crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through every cell. Breathe Mother Earth, the unconditional love all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. One more time. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love and crystalline energies all the way up through your body. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. And when you're ready, please open your eyes. I encourage you to have a good drink of water now. If you wish to, you can place some salt into your water. When we do energy work, when we do releasing, it's important to use a bit of salt to assist your body with reintegration. So, from me here in Mount Barker for the very last time, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing us through this last year and a half. It's been quite the trip, and I look forward to seeing how things are with the new space, how it's going to look, because it's not going to look like this. Most of what's here, apart from the fairy lights, is Alex's. So I'm looking forward to creating a beautiful place to come to you. So until I see you next time, please do something tasty for yourself. And I don't really mind what it is, but please do something kind and gentle and loving for yourself. And until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.